Yo, what up guys, thanks for clicking on this video, and in this one I'm going to be reviewing Joker 2. Alright, so this movie picks up right where the first one left off. You know, Joker's captured and he's taken to the Arkham State Hospital, and while he's there he meets Harley Quinn, and the two quickly begin to build a dynamic relationship with each other. And this is all while Arthur's still waiting on the verdict from the crimes he committed as the Joker. Alright, so I have a lot to say about this movie, but before I get to that, let me just give you some quick details about the movie. So this movie is directed by Todd Phillips. You know, he's done the Hangover series, along with the first Joker movie. And I think that's what he's most well known for, at least from what I know him for, is the Joker movies. Along with that, you have the cast, you know, obviously Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and some returning characters from the first movie, along with some new characters. Now, I looked up the budget for this movie, and it says it's around $200 million, and I was checking the predictions, you know, of how this movie would do, and it's saying anywhere from 40 to 60. I mean, these numbers keep changing as, you know, more time comes out because of how the movie went. But, yeah, I mean, even the reviews, they're not looking good at all. You know, it had a 39 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.5 on IMDb. So that's what you're looking at for the reviews, and I don't even doubt it because in my theater, 2 people walked out. Like, I thought they were coming back, but then I was like, nah, they ain't coming back. Both of them leave at the same time. Nah, and that was only an hour into the movie. So yeah, the reviews aren't looking good at all. And last things I'll say is it's rated R, obviously, and the runtime is 2 hours and 19 minutes. All right, so with all that out of the way, let me get into some of my thoughts. So I didn't watch the first Joker movie until last night. I was stayed up till 2 a.m. watching it, but I didn't watch it because I didn't think it looked good. Like, it was just Joker, dudes laughing. Like, that doesn't look... Where's Batman? But yeah, I guess he was in it, but, you know, I just didn't want to watch it. But after watching it last night, I was like, oh, dang, like, this is actually a pretty solid movie. Like, I enjoyed that. Like, it was good. So with that, I was looking forward to this one, but at the same time, I wasn't, because there was a lot of controversy on this. Whether it's from the movie being a musical, I feel like that's always like a... or whether it was problems with the script or even the ending, which I heard before I watched this movie or the first movie, I heard that there was a bunch of complaints about the ending. Like, what they did at the end, why would you do that? That's how I just heard it was bad, like what they did. And so all that being said, I was looking forward to it, but I knew it was probably going to be bad. And after watching this movie, I got to say, I think the best word to describe it would be pointless. The problem is the first one was just a good standalone film, and it's really hard to kind of continue off it when it was just meant to be a standalone film. But they tried. Yeah, they tried. Did they try hard? Well, they tried harder than Megalopolis, I can tell you that. The best way I can summarize this movie is that it's basically just Joker in prison meets Harley Quinn, and then he goes through a trial. That is the whole 2 hour and 19-minute runtime. They just dragged that on so much. But let me go into some of the pros and the cons about this movie. You know, I'll start with some of the pros. I think Joaquin Phoenix, you know, the way he just transforms his body to play this role is pretty crazy. Like, they might put some effects over it to make it look worse than it actually is, but just getting that skinny for a role, that's some dedication right there. And his act as Joker, I think it was solid, but in the first one it was better. Another thing is it stays the same as the first movie. You know, it's grounded for the most part. The cinematography and certain shots, you know, they all remind me of the first movie, and they all have their own style. Kind of like the Joker style, you know, grounded, that universe feel. But overall, I just felt like this movie was dull. And let me just go into some of the cons. I can kind of explain it better. So I feel like this movie had potential, you know, with Harley Quinn and Joker, but the dynamic between them, I didn't like. To me, it just feels like Joker is he's more of a random dude that they call the Joker. Some random, like, guy with, you know, a mental illness. And Harley Quinn just felt like a random, like, mega fan, or I don't know. She didn't really feel like the typical Harley Quinn and Joker. And I know that's probably what they're going for, a different take on it, but to me it just felt like random people on the street, and they just made a movie about them and then just called them Joker and Harley Quinn. So that was one thing that bugged me. Along with that, the pace. You can obviously tell the pace in this movie is way slower than in the first movie. It's because they're dragging. They're just dragging. A lot of slow-mo scenes, a lot of, like, just staring and looking into the camera, and just pointless scenes like that. And also, like, the trial scenes. Why are they dragging this on so long? So all that, the movie was just dragging. And I was looking forward to this movie, but it just didn't have the same story. Like, the story was weak. Like I said, they didn't know where to go with this. So yeah, I just feel like they dragged it on too long, and the story was much weaker in this one. And as you guys know, this was a musical. At first I was like, okay, these musicals aren't bad. They're kind of fitting in. And you can say it fits in because they're mentally ill and like they're just singing to themselves. And so if we saw it, we'd be like, yeah, that's weird. But to them, they're just la la la, So you can say that, but it gets to a point where, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? This is a Joker movie. I didn't come to see Mean Girls the remake. I just felt like after the first few musical scenes, it kind of just got repetitive and pointless. Along with that, I think this movie has too many like imaginary scenes where he's just daydreaming, about certain things in his life, about being the Joker. So a lot of scenes are just in his head. And I get they're trying to show you the mind of someone like that, but I think it just starts getting repetitive again. They're just feeling it. They're just feeling the same thing. They're feeling things with repetitive scenes, whether it's the daydreams, the musicals, or whatever the case is. Like, they just are filling time. And the last thing I'll say is the ending. I get why people were mad. I wasn't necessarily mad or upset. It was just like, I guess. Like, what else can you do? I get being mad, but at the same time, this movie, like, annoyed me because it was pointless. They had a good movie standalone, which they could have done something else, but then the direction they went in with this movie, the ending didn't even bother me. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. Comment below if you saw this movie and if you agree or disagree. I'm not trying to sit here and say I hate the movie. I'm just listing flaws that I think are in the movie that the first one did better. And if I had to rank this, I would give this a participation award. I think if you're a fan of the first one, you'll go watch this, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one. The first one just had more story and just elements that made you invested in, and kept things suspenseful. This one just felt dull, lacking, and kind of predictable towards the end. But guys, those are just my thoughts. Comment below if you saw this movie and what you think. I'm very curious to know if you are a diehard Joker fan, you like the first one, what you think of this one. Because like I said, I'm not a huge fan. I just watched the movie last night. And I just want to say thank you guys for interacting, commenting. If you're still here, I appreciate you watching till the end. It really means a lot. And so I just want to say thank you guys for just all the interactions the last few weeks and months even. And yeah, thank you guys again. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.